What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. A little bit different look today. We're gonna do a little exercise. Um, I realized some stuff over the weekend about my store, and it wasn't good news, but it's a good learning opportunity, and it's something that I don't know why I didn't know a while ago, like years ago when I first started. But I didn't know. I didn't realize this, uh, and so I think the thing that made me think about this was we're trying to save up money to buy better inventory. And so I'm like, well, how long is it going to take us to save up this money? So I started thinking about things in a different way. And so I talked to Tech from the group, and he gave me some good advice. I talked to my business partner. He gave me some good advice. And then I talked to another buddy of mine that is, he has owned a business in the past, and he's really high up in a company. So he understands sales and forecasting and all these numbers. Same with my business partner. He's owned numerous businesses, so he gets it. And obviously Tech does as well. So it was interesting to hear their three different points, or three different points of view, because they all three had a different way of looking at it. Um, and they all pretty much said the same thing, which I agreed with and I understand. And this isn't something that I didn't understand and didn't know. I just never did the math in my store. So when I did the math, I I realized that I can't sustain listing 21 a day because I'm going to run out of money in about a month and a half. And so that's not an option, right? So I'm going to show you guys how I discovered it so that you can know at any point, this is where I'm at and this is where I can go. And it's either up or the same or down. And even if it's up one, that's fine. It doesn't matter, right? Okay, so we're just using examples. So you look at November 2023. Let's just say your gross sales were $10,000. Your selling costs, and we're just using nice easy numbers, are 50% or $5,000, right? Your net sales, therefore, $5,000. We're not worried about tax and that other stuff, right? We're just keeping it simple, okay? So then you say, well, I want to forecast for December, right? Which is what you should do. How are we going to grow in December? Are we going to stay the same? Aside from your processes and your storage space and all that other stuff, um, deciding whether or not you can grow. We're just talking strictly money. Can my eBay business, support any growth? If so, how much? So we know that our net sales from December, it's like I'm typing eBay titles, right? So now net sales from November were the $5,000. Okay. And then your bills, oops, and expenses are $1,500, not counting inventory. So what you have left over, right? If you do the same exact thing, is $3,500. Okay. This is if you do the exact same thing as November sales wise. Okay. So then you say, all right, well, my cost of goods, and we're again just using even numbers, is $4. Gosh, that didn't send. Cost of goods is $4. So this right here, I believe, so if you had $3,500 in the bank, you could buy 875 pieces. Okay. So let's say you're looking to grow. Okay, I want to grow. So my inventory, I want to do 1,085 pieces. We're talking for December, right? So you guys can see works out to 35 items a day. So we want to grow to 35 items a day. Let's say down here we were listing, I think this is 28 items a day. Sorry, in November. That's what 850 pieces. Oops, I'm sorry. 3,500 divided by your cost of goods. 875 pieces divided by 30 is 29.16. So let's just say you were listing 29 a day. Now you want to bump up to 35, which, I mean, if you're at 29, you probably handle 35. It's a big step. That's 180 more pieces a month. So we want to see, can we afford that? So for 1,085 pieces of inventory, right, that's going to cost $4,340. Okay. And we know that our bills and expenses, because these stay pretty much the same, we're going to say $1,500. Okay. Now the total of that is $5,840. And I know this all seems mundane, but you'll see how it all comes together. Okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm going, well, what do I need my gross sales to be? When I look at that bar graph, at the end of December, what does it need to read in order for me to list 35 a day? Let's put that in there, 35 a day. Okay. Well, your gross sales are going to be what you need to make, right? So this would be your net sales. This is that money that's going straight from eBay into your bank account, right? You got to make enough to cover. Oops, you got to make enough. Okay, never mind. You have to make enough to cover all your inventory and your bills and expenses. And in these bills and expenses, things like your maybe your salary, you're paying yourself, right? And again, your numbers could be at a zero or whatever. It doesn't matter. The math is still the same. So you're going to take the amount you need. So I need $5,840 in the month of December coming into my bank account. You divide that by your selling cost percentage, which we know is 50%, right? So you take 5840 and then you divide it by 50%. That's 11,680, right? Or 376 and 77 cents a day. So I need to be making deals. I need to make sure I make 377, 376.77. That bar graph needs to go to that number every single day at least in order for me to grow to 35 a day. If it doesn't, at the end of the month, we're not moving up. We can calculate our numbers and maybe we can go to 30. Okay. So now you go, well, how many items is that? Well, our gross sales, 11,680, right? Divided by your ASP. So let's just say your ASP is 20, 584 items, right? If your ASP is 20, which is great because what were you doing up here? Well, I don't know. That's a lot of stuff I'd have to figure out. So now you know 584 items. Okay, so how many is that a day? And there's 31 days in the month of December. That's only 18.8 sales a day. For some people, that's a lot. For some people, that's like, what? So if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment and I'll explain it the best I can. If I didn't do a good job this time, watch the video again. And this is embarrassing to say, but this is where I screwed up. I did not think about this, and I should have, as much as a numbers guy I am. And I just, like I said, this exercise just happened in my head, and I started going through things, and I spent about an hour looking at all these different numbers, thinking about different things, um, and planning things out, and saying, no, I screwed up. I tried to grow too fast. There's many reasons. We don't need to get into the reasons of how I got into this. Um, I made some mistakes and I didn't. That'll help. I didn't forecast, right? So it's great to say I want to sell a lot of items. I want to list more items so I can make more money. But listing more items doesn't always equal making more money, right? Part of it is I didn't buy the right items. We all know that. So we have the lower end items in our store. So you have to know where you are, right? Well, technically you'd be up here. Okay. This is how much money came into my bank account, 5 grand. Then you have to say, okay, where do I want to go? I'd like to go more per day. Okay. So then that means with our inventory cost and our bills and expenses. This is our total. To get that total, because we know our cost of goods, obviously, right? And this is an average cost of good. It's not, you don't have to worry if you spent $6 on something today and two tomorrow, and just always average it out. Okay. Right. So this is our total. This is how much money we have to make to just break even, not put anything in the bank account. So we take that total, we divide it by our selling cost percentage, which you can find on eBay, right? Gives you the number. This is what your gross sales need to be in the month you want to grow in, 11,680. You just divide that by how many days are in the month. Then you know, okay, that's how much I need to make per day in gross sales. Very important, gross sales versus the amount eBay sends you, okay, which is not net profit because you haven't taken out your expenses, okay? So now you want to know how many items that is. You just take your forecasted, well, the amount that you're going to have to make in gross sales for the month you're forecasting for, or whatever situation you're forecasting for. It could be a week. You divide that by your ASP, and that tells you how many items. Okay. Shocking that I didn't do this before. Really, really shocking. Um, but this is the point of the channel, right? You're watching someone go through what it's like to be a reseller. Sometimes it's kind of mundane. It's just saying, oh, we sold this many and blah, blah, blah. Then there's nuggets. And that's this is the main reason why I wanted to do this channel is to document it for myself, to make sure I learned. And then I'm like, well, I'll just put it out there and maybe other people can learn. I don't know. Last time I checked, we had like 58 subscribers. It's 58 people that can learn off of my mistakes. I hope you do learn. And I hope that it helps you in your store and you're not in a position like I am. And that way you can just see, okay, because even if I do this scenario and I say, well, you know what, 376, that's not hard. That's only one more sale a day or whatever. It doesn't mean I have to grow. It just means I can. Or maybe I say, you know what, I'm doing 28 a day. Why don't we just do 30? Let another couple months go by. Let some more cash build up so we're more secure, right? And then we can go to 35. And really, we can afford 40, but we're going to go to 35. So I just really got going, and I was just like, growth, growth, growth. Um, and I didn't think about it. So now let's go back to my situation. Okay, so I can only do 10 a day right now. How is my store going to react? I have no idea. Yesterday we did 13 sales. Today we've done 12. Our average last month was 13.4. I can't tell you. My recording software is on my other screen over here. So if I do anything over here, it's going to screw it up. So um, we're not, last I checked, we were like 11.2 for the month of December in sales. It's been slow. And this was before I went down to 10 a day. I didn't go down to 10 a day until Saturday. Okay. So by going down to 10 a day, now I have a month worth of inventory. I just went and picked up 55 pieces. So that's 5.5 days worth of inventory more, not listed yet. Okay. Um, well, I should separate that. So I have a month in drafts and scheduled, right? I have another month unlisted. The reason I went to Goodwill is half off men's clothing today. And, excuse me, I think I went about 2 o'clock. It was about 2 o'clock my time. And I'm sure a lot of people would go right in the morning, right when it opens. Um, I know a lot of people do here. I guess I'm saying people out in YouTube land, they would probably be like, let's go in the morning, beat everyone else. I've gone in the mornings and it's the crackhead dance. I mean, these people are just all over the place running around. It's like, I just let them do their thing and I'll go after they're all done after I go to the post office. Because I have same day handling, which ends at noon, my time. People go to lunch at 1, get back at 1:30 at the post office. It's a tiny, tiny town. Um, and so I do my shipping. I go to the post office at 1:30 and then I head to Goodwill. All the crackheads are out of there. There's usually one or two. There was one, same guy I've seen multiple times. I don't know what he's looking for because I literally went behind him on a rack and I pulled out, I don't know, 10 items, 15 items. Now, these aren't $50 profit items. Maybe he's got it so good that he just goes there when he gets bored and he has an online sourcing. I don't know what his deal is, but I can tell you, I walked in there. I think they open at 10. So they'd been open 4 hours, been picked through all day long. And just regular customers know too, it's half off, right? So they're going to go in there and grab the best stuff. I found 55 items that I bet the lowest one nets me $15 profit. Nah, maybe 13. I think there was a couple. Um, so with going back and doing this the correct way, which I thought I was doing it the correct way when I pulled all those items out of my store back in June 10th. Yeah. Um, I wasn't still. I still have lots to learn. And I feel like I've learned a ton, which I have. So you're like, how much more is there? And it's just like life, right? You never are done learning. So now I feel like I'm doing it right now. I'm going to be putting in good items. It's only 10 a day. It's not hard to find 70 items a week, even here. If it was 700, I don't think I could pull off 700. I mean, maybe I'd have to go to Goodwill like 2, 3 times a day. Hope I get lucky. There's some other thrift stores here. Um, one of them, there's no way. They charge retail prices. Literally, they charge retail prices. Um, or close to retail prices where there's only like $2 or $3 profit, which isn't going to work great. The other one, they're really small. You could probably hit up once every 2 to 3 days. So you'd have to source online. But my point is, I'm I'm not glad I made these mistakes in the sense of it set me back, but I'm glad that I made these mistakes. I noticed them and now I'm learning from them. And I'm sure Tech thought I was an idiot for sending him a message on Facebook asking him these questions, which were like first grade questions, right? But I knew the answer, um, but I wanted to see what his thought was because even though I knew the answer or thought I knew the answer, um, what if I was wrong, right? So why wouldn't you ask a guy with all this experience? And just he has business experience. That's what's another good thing. It's not just eBay experience, it's business experience because he has other businesses. So business is business, whether it's lawn care, he has real estate, he has eBay, right? Now he has YouTube. So, he has these different businesses. And at the end of the day, yeah, they're different, but there's also a lot of similarities in how business works. Um, and one of those similarities, right? But you all are going to know this. If you want to stay in business, you have to make more money than you spend. Balance sheet has to be positive. Um, unless you're doing some really tricky tax stuff. And I'm not talking illegal. I'm just talking stuff that's tricky. That is, anyways. So yeah, that's my mistake. So go easy on me in the comments. It's kind of freeing though that I know this now because the path forward is so easy to see. It's so simple. It's like someone took a pressure washer to my brain and just like, because sometimes I overanalyze, right? I'm sure you could probably tell that, like, because I dig so deep into the numbers. Um, it's good to dig deep in them, but maybe just once a month or once every couple weeks, right? That kind of thing. And don't just focus on them. Someone in the Facebook group just did their November report, and she said, "I'm just doing it monthly now, so that I don't get focused and stuck on that day to day when you have a bad day." And that's smart because it's easy. Like I had a bad day the other day, I only sold I think like five. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? But now we're selling 12, 13. Excuse me. That's just how it goes. That's just how this business is. We all know that. So let me know if you have any questions. I think I explained it decent enough to where you can understand. Even if you're not looking to grow, it's great to do this every month because if you don't make as much and you don't have the money to cover the inventory or already have the inventory, right? What are you going to do? You got to figure something out. You got to have a plan. So it's good to know. So, all right. Well, it's Monday and I got some more work to do. So I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. And yeah, let's all make sure we know where our business is going, where it's headed, where we want it to go. And I think it'll make all of us better and more successful. All right. We'll see you later. Take care.